Hey guys, how are you? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing a movie review. This movie is a thriller from Spain, Spanish language English subs, released in the year 2015, directed by Victor Hernandez-Vicens, and this film is called The Corpse of Anna Fritz. So The Corpse of Anna Fritz is about Anna Fritz, who's a celebrity in Spain. Everybody's obsessed with her. She's beautiful. She's every boy's fantasy, and basically the whole country just follows her life. So one day she shockingly dies from unknown causes, and she's sent to the morgue in order to do an autopsy. But before the autopsy, one of her fans, a young man who works at the morgue, takes a picture of the dead body to show his friends, to prove that he's up close and personal with the corpse of Anna Fritz. So his friends want to see the body as well. So one night he sneaks them into the morgue, and this is where they can see her in the flesh. And so one of the friends comes up with the idea that he wants to have sex with this dead body, because in reality, you know, if this woman was alive, he wouldn't get anywhere near her. So he sees this as an opportunity to make his fantasy of having sex with this celebrity a reality. So he actually goes through with this, and so does another one of these friends, and this basically has grave consequences because their necrophilia is going to gravely complicate matters that are going to send them past the point of no return. So what that point is, something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going, my synopsis. Now my thoughts on The Corpse of Anna Fritz. If you aren't familiar with foreign cinema and you are very sensitive, then you're not going to like this film. This film is definitely not for you because it does tackle a very, very dark and taboo, disgusting subject matter of necrophilia. So this is what I like about foreign cinema, is that they're willing to push the envelope, they're willing to make you feel very uncomfortable, and they don't really pull any apologies for it. And they're not scared to make films as to what they want to make. It's just not making films to cater for a broader audience. So this is exactly what Spain is known for. In particular, there is a film very similar to this one called Aftermath Genesis. Now that was a short film, but that was also documenting necrophilia, and the Aftermath Genesis was an extremely graphic film, whereas The Corpse of Anna Fritz is not overly graphic, but it's more a case of the themes of it, and the kind of people and what they're thinking, and you know, the celebrity culture and how obsessed we can become with the celebrity culture. So I think this movie, there were some moments that actually reminded me and actually felt like a love letter to Aftermath Genesis. Now, Aftermath Genesis is from the 1990s, and that was extremely disgusting, and I could appreciate it for what it was, but it's just definitely a film I would not recommend to everybody, because, as I said, it really does push that envelope, and it really does push the limits of, you know, comfort. And so for me, I didn't like the overall subject and what I was actually seeing, but I can appreciate the fact that they're making films to test the audience. So that's what Anna Fritz, The Corpse of Anna Fritz, does to some extent, is that it does get very disturbing, it's very dark, and it does tackle that subject matter. But the problem with Anna Fritz is that after you get over the very morbid sort of idea, then all of a sudden it just goes down a standard sort of thriller, and it feels very empty, and it feels like the overall extreme subject matter is there for a gimmick. You know, The Corpse of Anna Fritz, and you read the synopsis and you think to yourself, okay, I'm getting myself into a very dark film, but there are things that happen in the movie where it kind of releases all that really taboo sort of tension, and it just goes down a standard sort of typical thriller fare. So I didn't really like this film in the end, to be honest, because I just felt that after you get over the shock and, you know, there's something that happens that kind of just runs it down a very generic path, and I knew how this film was going to end, basically. So the acting wasn't all that good. You know, the three friends at the start of the movie were very unlikable. I just didn't care about their situation. You've got you know, this corpse who's obviously, you know, just doesn't have to do much. But then as the movie progresses, I never really got any likeable sort of, I couldn't relate to these characters, so I didn't care what really happened to them. So I thought the cinematography was pretty good. I thought that the overall morgue that it was set in, it fit the overall sort of morbid atmosphere that it wanted to create. And there was some suspense here and there, but it is a very short film, only 71 minutes, and unfortunately at the end of this movie, you'll forget it as quick as it came. So I just thought that the Corpse of Anna Fritz, it was billing itself as a really disturbing film, but it's not quite as disturbing as it makes it out to be, and it just doesn't have any depth. It doesn't have any emotion to the characters, it doesn't have really any emotion to the overall story developing, and at the end of it, as I said, it's just a film that just patters along and basically whimpers out with a dull thud instead of an explosion. So for The Corpse of Anna Fritz, I'm not really going to recommend this movie. It's not as great as, you know, it could have been. It could have been a deeply disturbing film about, you know, morals and all that kind of thing, but it doesn't really tackle that. It kind of gets lost in a very simplistic thriller that is something that you've seen before, which is a great shame, because as it built itself at the start of the movie, you thought you're getting yourself into, you know, something very different. So I thought this is a fairly mediocre film, and as a result of that, I'm only going to give The Corpse of Anna Fritz 2 stars. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.